Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland, and today I have a layout for Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the really beautiful December 2020 kits. My January kits have now arrived, so I'll be diving into those for my next assignment. But today is Mixed Media Monday, and I am using the beautiful Shimmerz paints from the December colour kit. I've got the 3 colours of Shimmerz that were in the kit, and I need a 4th one because I'm going to make a layout in quarters today. So I'm going to divide my layout literally into quarters. I've just drawn a pencil line across the middle of the page and the other way as well. I'm going to stitch over that, but before I do so I'm going to do some painting. So I'm going to apply mixed media with a wide paintbrush to the 4 sections of the layout. So I'm starting off with the gold one, and that's called Christmas Cheer, and it's an original Shimmerz. So that means it's a watercolour paint that is ready to dip your paintbrush into already. The other 2 that came in the December kit are both called Inklings, and they are hard watercolour paints. So that means that they are like regular watercolour paint palettes or pans or cakes. They have various names, so they're hard paints, and you put water on them in order to get the colour off. Now with the Shimmerz Inklings, if you let them sit in a small amount of water for 2 or 3 minutes, you get the whole top layer of the paint dissolves ever so slightly, and you end up with this really lovely, rich, thick paint. And you can water it down by adding more water or whatever. So really lovely and rich paint. I really love the Inklings. They're my favourites. Inklings and Creamies are my favourites. Okay, so the top 2 colours have dried a little bit already because the paint is not thick. I haven't applied it thickly at all, so I can already add splatters. So I've just put a small amount of paint onto my craft sheet and picked it up with a paintbrush. I've added some water if need be, and splattered all over with the same colours. Now I had to add an extra colour, and I ended up doing this off camera. I'm sorry about that. I just forgot to turn the camera back on. But what I wanted to do was add another colour, and I picked out the greeny colour called Jade Fountain, that's actually a Nuvo shimmer powder that came in our November colour kit. So I just mixed that with a small amount of water. It's very similar to a Lindy's magical powder. So I just mixed that with a small amount of water and created a paint, and I just applied it in exactly the same way as the others, and also added splatters. So that is what the other colour is at the bottom left. Okay, so now what I'm deciding to do is to use this absolutely fabulous stencil that we got in the December kits. So this is a 3-layered stencil. It has 3 layers. It's 3 stencils, and you put one on top of the other to create this tartan effect. Now I'm doing it all in one colour because I'm doing a colour on colour style layout, but the real benefit of this stencil is that you could have this check print in 3 different colours, so that is totally awesome, but for this layout that wasn't going to work. I just needed it to be the one colour. So you can see what I'm doing. I'm applying the stencil, putting the stencil over my area. I'm then using a dauber or a little like foam square applicator thing, I don't know what they're called, to pick up the colour from the ink pads and then to rub it through the stencil. So that's what I've just done there. I've done that with all those 3 colours so far, and now I'm just about to do the blue one. I was a bit nervous of the blue one because it's such a dark colour. I think by now I have already stitched through. I can't tell from here, but I may have already added some machine stitching through the middle of the layout, the cross in the middle. I added a single line of white machine stitching in a straight stitch, and I also added zigzag stitches as well down the 2 lines, but further in, so not all the way to the edges, which gives me a really good chunky look in the middle of this layout, and does give it the effect of kind of being sewn together, the 4 squares being sewn together. Okay, so that is my background complete, really. I'm really happy with how this is looking. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I don't often apply mixed media in this way. I would normally use the packaging technique and have, colours blending together, or have large areas of colour blending together with the watercolour technique, applying it with the packaging tech to create a watercolour effect. But on this occasion, I have real colour blocking going on here. I really like the effect. I'm going to do more of it, I think. I came across one of my favourite designers the other day who does the big wide stripes in the background. I was like, I love doing that. I've done that quite a few times before. I haven't done it for a couple of years maybe, so I'm going to try that next time, I think. Okay, so I now have to decorate my squares. So I've got my photos. Now initially I had two portrait photos and one square photo, so I've just trimmed the two portrait ones down to squares as well. And then I've mounted them onto white card so that they have a square border, a white border, sorry, like my other square photo as well, because they just didn't look right with the different shaped photos, different sized photos. I could have made it work, I'm sure, but I definitely prefer the look with the 3 squares. And then I'm really looking to go colour on colour. So you can see around my layout I have already done some fussy cutting. So I had that sheet of paper with houses all over it, and I've fussy cut some of those out. I have 4 different piles of colours, and you can see I've got like chipboard pieces picked out and stuck on my trimmer to the right side of the screen. What you can't see off screen is another little dish top left that, oh, I just knocked the mic over, sorry, I've got things stuck to as well. There was a lot of chipboard in the December kit, so the good thing about that is that it's on sheets and you can see everything at a glance, as opposed to ephemera, which you have to sort through. But the downside to chipboard is that it's sticky, so therefore I couldn't take it off and create piles of colour. Anyway, that's why I have loads of stuff stuck to my trimmer. Okay, so in the 4th square, the green colour, I don't have another photo, so I'm going to use a journaling card here, and I'm going to write my journaling in this space. So that's the perfect balance, I think, to this layout. Okay, so I'm taking each square one at a time. On the left hand side I've got my journaling card, the bottom left, sorry, and I've distressed the edges. I've also cut the journaling card down to a square as well, so it matches my photos. And then I've added my houses that I've fussy cut. There's a frame, a wreath, some other chipboard leaves, and bits and pieces, and I've added the word fun down the bottom. Now I'm really not sure about this because it doesn't go with my whole colour on colour thing going on. So actually later on that does get axed, but at the moment it's going to sit there for a while until I decide that I just can't cope with it. Okay, so moving on to the blue square, adding lots of fussy cut houses from that sheet of paper. I've got some trees as well that were also in blue. I love that big arrow. I've tried to use it elsewhere and never actually succeeded, but it says love this life of mine, so that was great. I've got a frame behind my photo as well in blue, yeah, it's all looking really good. I'm loving how I can cluster each group around each photo. They're very specific colours, and it just all goes together really, really, really well. This is scrapbooking at its easiest, I think, to pull out the colours and to go cluster and things around in colour groups, because it just works so where everything matches and it just works brilliantly. So definitely a great way to embellish a layout. Okay, so fussy cut houses at the top there. I've also put out some other bits and pieces that go with these colours. So at the top I've got Oh My Crafty Heart. We are crafting in this photo. We're making that wreath you can see. This is a Christmas layout actually, and me and my daughter, she's 9, I signed up for a wreath making class at her school actually, with the other mums, but of course it got cancelled like everything else this year, or last year, and this year, and it was held via Zoom instead, which is actually quite nice because then my daughter could join me, and we sat in my craft room all evening and had a lovely evening together making the wreath. So yeah, it was nice. So anyway, we were crafting, so the crafty stuff in this kit works really well. And the houses work really well because we were at home, and this is to decorate my door, the front door of my house, so that all works really well. Okay, top left, I'm in the yellow section. Not so much yellow in the kit, but quite a lot of goldy colour, so that goes well. Well, actually the paint was gold, so of course it goes well. So I've got like the fireworks, I've got houses, I've got a little washi tape strip, chipboard, I've got scissors, chipboard scissors, I've got more houses, flowers, a little circle that says craft. So yeah, really happy with how that's looking. I just felt that my top two sections were a little bit short. I needed to add some extra colour, extend that colour up a little bit. They weren't as big as the other two, so it wasn't giving a particularly square look. So I just had to extend that up there with the same colour paints I used earlier, and of course I needed some splatters as well. Okay, so yeah, I'm nearly done. I have to say, just extending those two areas there to make them more slightly bigger actually, and to be honest, I've actually gone a bit too big now, but I don't extend the bottom ones as well, so that's good. Okay, just adding some label stickers over on the right hand side. Homemade, love this, and party. It wasn't much of a party, to be fair, but we did have a nice girly evening, so that was nice. Down the bottom I've just added I love my craft area, and this was a good day. And then I'm now going to add some twiddles of thread. So colour on colour, gold and silver, I generally think fall outside of those rules, but on this occasion I'm going to stick to them. So the gold is going on the gold section and the silver is going on the blue section. I know silver's not blue, but silver goes really well with blue, doesn't it? And I've got no twiddles on the red section or the green section, so yeah. Okay, coming in with some more embellishments here. I mean, this layout is very embellishment heavy, because I just went to town on the colour blocking, so it was fun. Okay, so I'm coming in with some puffy stickers now. So I've got the stars. I love those set of stars. I love stars generally, so that was ideal. So I just went through and added a few stars here and there wherever I could that worked with the whole colour on colour thing. I've also removed the word fun at the bottom, and I'm going to stick with crafts and cocoa as my title. Just writing on my journaling with a grey pen, yeah, I'm almost done. I think that's pretty much my layout complete. I'm just distressing the edges now because I do that with most of my layouts. I would normally put a border on my layout, so therefore I don't have a border on this one, so distressing the edges is my border. And there is the finished layout. So I hope you've enjoyed this layout. I absolutely really loved and enjoyed making it. It was such fun to make. Don't forget that if you are a Hip Kit Club subscriber, you get the main kit at a reduced price, 15% discount off all add-on kits, and you get access to exclusive subscriber cut files. So lots of reasons there to subscribe. Thank you so very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed the layout. That was Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.